I think that as this, if it does, and I'm not trying to, I'm not going to be overly optimistic here. I mean, no rose-colored glasses here, and the president spoke very clearly about this yesterday, the challenges that we face in actually implementing this cessation of hostilities. But I think if this thing does find some purchase, if it does get traction, I think then you will see more of a public acknowledgement of what groups are part of this.
So have you, sorry, I got
okay,
two more here. Have you gotten any explicit assurances from the Russian government that they will cease targeting moderate rebel groups?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you finished your question. So that's been part of the last couple of days, frankly, is just really working with the Russians directly, but also as part of this larger task force, which only began meeting today, to work out who those groups are. But absolutely, yes, with the acknowledgement that we won't know until we're past 12:01 in Damascus time, and we see whether this actually bears fruit.
So you don't. So do you believe?
But yes, the Russians have committed themselves. Sorry, just to finish, directly answer it. Yes, the Russians have committed themselves to not carrying out strikes against groups that we consider part of the moderate opposition.
Why do you believe them?
We've said many, many times that this is, I don't know how to put it any better than saying it's put up or shut up time. It is time for them to show through action rather than words that they are serious about what they profess to be serious about, which is a ceasefire or a cessation of hostilities and a political process that leads to a transition.
Mark, can I follow up on our shot?
Yeah, sure.
During the Secretary's testimony on the Hill this week, a number of lawmakers raised concerns about Russia's commitment to this ceasefire. What is the U.S. plan B if there is Russian noncompliance? Is the U.S. considering a track of that would be putting additional sanctions or penalties on Russia, or is the U.S. looking at beefing up its support of the opposition?
It's a fair question, Pam. It's just, I don't want to today talk about any plan Bs or option Bs or however we've heard it bandied about in the media. I think our clear focus right now is, in the days, hours, in fact, ahead of us, trying to get this cessation of hostilities into place, and then what that would entail in terms of a political transition. Ultimately, the price for increased bloodshed, ongoing hostilities, the risk that Russia would bear from those kinds of actions, we've made very clear. There's no long-term solution that involves military force in Syria. But I don't want to conjecture about how we might, what we might turn to if this doesn't work out. I think our focus right now is on getting this cessation of hostilities in place.
Is there some kind of a metric or guidepost in place in terms of how far the U.S. would allow Russia to go with any violation before you did consider action?
So
when would they cross the line?
Maybe I could talk a little bit about what I know about the monitoring process and monitoring compliance. The first line of monitoring compliance would be the parties themselves. They would report violations or potential violations to the International Syria Support Group's ceasefire task force, either through one of the co-chairs or through the UN itself. Excuse me.